Welcome back to my channel. My name is YOODOO'S and I am a stay-at-home dad currently making my main income as a musician while living in the countryside of Australia with my 3 kids and my wife. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a typical day of what my wife and I cook for our family. We like to make our cooking cheap and easy but tasty at the same time. So we try to cook a lot of Japanese food on a budget, so hopefully you guys can take inspiration and cook some of these things yourself in your country. So today I'm starting the day by taking away some bamboo that grows behind our tiny house. So while I work on this, my wife is going to be cooking her favorite Japanese dish for lunch, and that is called okonomiyaki. Okonomiyaki is a savory pancake dish that uses a lot of healthy ingredients like cabbage, eggs, and sliced pork, and it's a dish that I grew up eating a lot in my family because it also is my mother's favorite Kansai dish to make. So for this Japanese dish, we have the ingredients, which are some cut up cabbage, eggs, which we luckily get our organic free range eggs from our chickens for free, and cheese, which is optional, and dashi stock, which is fish powder stock you can also get from Woolies for about $3, but we get ours straight from Japan because it's a lot cheaper and a lot tastier, and we get my family members to bring it up or when they visit, and when we go back to Japan, we bring it back as well. And now for one of the most important part is the okonomiyaki sauce. We just mix the tomato sauce, oyster sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and the brown sugar. And that's for the topping. So first we're going to make the batter and put 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Then a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. And a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. I also wanted to note that my wife's doing a bigger portion because she's preparing a bigger batch to cook up the next day. So now we're going to make the dashi stock, which is the fish stock, but my wife's going to add a kombu, which is kelp. And this is just a personal preference, we like it, so we're going to mix it in together and mix it with hot water to get it diluted. And after we mixed it with some chopsticks, now it's going to go into the batter. And after stirring the batter until it's very clean and smooth, now we're going to chop up some ginger that my wife got from her garden, and this is also free. And for your ginger, you want to cut it up and make it teeny tiny like this, just little bits of ginger, little teeny tiny dots. And now you're going to want 3 to 4 eggs to mix in the batter. And like I said before, the best part about these eggs is the fact that it's free because it's our own chickens. And now you should see the batter turn from a whitish color to a yellow-orangey color. We're almost there and it's starting to look pretty good. Now this is the best part, and it's when the cabbage goes in, and this is something that's very healthy for a Japanese dish because it's a lot of vegetables in it as well. And it's something that's a very basic dish that we're doing, but it's very healthy. And one of the best things is the fact that there's a lot of vegetables for the kids, and this is something that they can grow up eating and enjoy, so this is something that makes us very happy as parents. So now we're just going to try to mix the batter with the cabbage as much as we can. So this next part is optional and you don't have to add it, but this is cheese that we love to add to all our dishes, especially our okonomiyaki, because it just makes it so much better and we love it. And now we're going to cook the batter, and like any pancake, we just put it on top of the pan and let it do its thing. After laying the batter on the pan, you can choose your choice of meat. We usually use thin pork, but all we had today was thinly sliced beef, so that's what we will be using today. And after 5 minutes, this is what it looks like. Yum. Now all you need is the okonomiyaki sauce on top with a little bit of mayonnaise. And if you want to add to the next level, you add aonori, which is seaweed seasoning on top. And now that I cleared my bamboo, I'm going to enjoy the okonomiyaki with my family and then start preparing for dinner, which is also going to be a Japanese dish that's very cheap and affordable. So this next dish I'm going to be making is called Kushiag for dinner, which is deep fried veggies and meat. And this is another popular Kansai dish that I grew up eating because we have a lot of veggies that we grow ourselves on the property, like the pumpkin and sweet potatoes, and we want to use ingredients that are really cheap for us. So for this dish, we're going to be using panko, which is Japanese breadcrumb, which I got from Aldi. And we got some plain flour, which is also from Aldi. And this is just leftover. And something that I like to add is potato starch to the mix because it just makes it tastier. So for our veggies, we have our homegrown pumpkin, which is really yummy, and also some local veggies that we got from the local shop. Now I'm going to finish off preparing the veggies by cutting them into the right portion before coating it in the panko. This is a really easy dish because most of the work is just preparing the ingredients. And my favorite fruit to fry up is Shrek's favorite, onions. And I like to put these Japanese skewers to keep the onions in place. Because it's really expensive to eat out in Australia, especially authentic Japanese food, my wife and I are always trying to cook at home, but eating food that reminds me of my childhood is definitely something I want my kids to enjoy as well. Now that the nasubi, also known as eggplant, is finished, we're going to the pumpkin. And because this pumpkin is homegrown and we literally got it outside from the garden, it's going to taste a lot better than most shops. Being able to use a lot of our homegrown vegetables and ingredients makes us appreciate the food a lot more. One of the many perks of living in the countryside. Now that the veggies are all cut up, I'm going to start preparing the batter. And coating these vegetables is probably the longest part that it's going to take for this dish. Now that I have my 3 plates, I'm going to be creating a dipping station for each of the sections. Because this is the messiest part of cooking this dish, I had my wife take out the kids so they can run around while I do this. This is the time that having another parent is so helpful, especially because my kids love putting their hands on everything we make. So first, we dip our food into the potato starch flour mix that we have in the first right. Then we have our free-range organic eggs, and at the end we have our panko breadcrumb. So first I'm going to start by beating the eggs and making it smooth and consistent, while also trying to keep my little boy's finger from going into the mix. Even though this is the most time-consuming part of making kushiage, it's very easy. Once you get a pattern or rhythm going, it's actually very therapeutic, and it's really nice when you're listening to music. So now that I've finished preparing the veggies and the meat, which is steak, now we're going to be frying it up and going to the next section. Frying food is definitely one of my favorite parts of cooking. Yum. Now that I got my mega chopsticks, I'm going to be starting to cook up the oil. And usually I start off the cooking by doing the veggies because I just like doing it before the meats. And now I'm just checking the bubbles to make sure that the oil is ready to go, and it is. Let's go. I like to have the oil high enough so all the vegetables can submerge completely. And after the vegetables cook, I basically take it out and do the same thing and repeat until all the vegetables are finished. Another great thing to do kushiage is shrimp, and that's something that I didn't do this time, but I really like doing shrimp kushiage as well. So this is what the first batch looks like, and it was really crispy and yummy. So as I finish up frying all the veggies and steak skewers for this dish, I quickly wanted to say thanks for watching to the end of the video. I'm currently at about 14,000 subscribers as of making this video, so all the comments and all the Ko-fi support I get for making these videos really inspire me to make more videos for this channel. So for all the people who support my channel through Ko-fi and also through comments and watching my videos all the way, thank you. And in my next video, I'm going to be making a Q&A, so if there's any questions about anything, let me know in the comments, and even though I have over 200 that I have to narrow down for the next video, I might use it in a future Q&A video, so ask away. And after finishing up frying the food, this is the outcome, and this is what it looks like. This is my favorite dish to eat, the Japanese kushiage, and it has lots of veggies and meat. Everything turned out really yummy and tasty, except for the meat. I think I overcooked it, so it made it really chewy. And we also eat cabbage on the side, and some Osaka kushi sauce, and some ketchup with mayo. And my little boy has to poke at everything. Thanks for watching. After dinner, we went for a little walk outside on this beautiful countryside. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.